So joining me on the couch now is Mike Ballard from Oracle Utilities. Mike, thanks very much for being here this afternoon. Just quickly tell me about your role within Oracle Utilities.
So my role is to help the Oracle Utilities product development teams understand the trends that the markets are taking in the EMEA region, and to ensure that the products that are being developed are in line with the trends of this region.
And one of your concerns is about customer engagement. So the customer of the utilities, whether or not they need to be engaged and whether or not they are engaged. And I get a sense from you, having spoken to you once before, that actually some customers are going to be engaged and some customers are not going to be engaged.
Well, absolutely. The evolution of the customer engagement in utilities specifically is a hot topic. So previously, the engagement of customers has simply been around their bill, and the demands that we're now seeing in the market around managing energy efficiency, shifting the usage to off-peak periods, requires utilities to be far more engaged with their customers than simply having a transactional relationship through their bill.
We use this rather fancy word engaged, but actually it's about whether customers care or whether they don't care about what goes on behind the scenes from their utility.
Indeed. And this is quite a fun topic to debate in industry. Is, do customers care? And if they don't care, should they care? Or actually, is it only the utility organisations and the governments and regulators that want them to care? And because as a customer of anything, you have a limited amount of time in your day, and that is split up from work and family. And so your utility part, should be a very small part of your overall energy that you're expending, your internal energy you're expending in your day-to-day activities. So if utilities and governments and regulators can provide the solutions to problems of demand, excess demand, then why wouldn't they? And let the customer get on with their lives. So customers feel like they shouldn't have to be getting so involved in this process.
Okay, let's rewind a little bit, because you posed yourself a few very good questions. So let's take some of those in turn. So should customers care?
I believe that that customers who are interested in lowering their energy bills, who are interested in managing their energy usage in their home, have to be engaged in that process. I think it is difficult to challenge your utility to keep your costs down if you're not engaged in that conversation and that understanding of how energy is delivered to your home. And this is a public perception challenge, and in different countries they have the customers have a different relationship. So in some countries, for example, there is a growing wave of dissatisfaction with utilities and with the idea that.
Some example of those countries.
Oh yeah, in the UK, for example, it's we are at the bottom of the utilities, at the bottom of the customer services rating, and the perception of utilities is not great, and the trust is now something which is a big factor in many of the utilities in the UK. Trust is now the top of their agenda, and regaining that trust.
Why do you think the perception is so bad?
Well, it's a combination of factors. The first one being that the cost of producing energy is going up, and the proportion of income that customers are having to spend on their energy bills is going up, and so the customers' options for doing something about it are perceived to be limited, and so that starts to build up a conflict in that customers have no choice but to pay for their bill, but they don't feel they're empowered to do anything about it, and so they look to their utility to try and solve those problems. But the utilities themselves have challenges in being able to do that on their own.